Hey everyone, Adam here with AJT Design. Today we've got an instruction video. This is for our injection fob case for the Jeep Wrangler JL. If you have one of these and want to upgrade it to this case, this is the video for that. Now we've had this product out for some time as the IF013, and we've just recently re-released this additionally as the IF029. And the difference is these buttons. We have new buttons now that are overmolded that have the white lettering on there. They look a lot better. At this time, both versions are still available. This one is only a few dollars more, but the button look, in my opinion, and a lot of people have been asking for it, it is way better. So we've sort of upgraded that. And when you buy this fob from us, it's going to come with all 6 of these buttons. So you have a choice between red and a black panic button. And you've got the button set for a fob that looks like this, as well as the buttons if you have the remote start option. So you're covered either way. So I will get started taking this apart and show you guys how it's done. First thing we're going to want to do is remove this back cover. Use a screwdriver to kind of pry this thing open. Once you get started, this pops off. We can discard this piece. Then we'll take the battery out. Screwdrivers can be helpful for that. Oh, right over here. There we go. Battery out. Next, we're going to remove this back case. Dropping everything today. There's some torque screws. There are 4 of them, and this is a T6 Torx drive. This screwdriver is included from us. So just use that to remove these screws. And this piece will come right off. We can discard that. Do not need to save the screws for anything. This key assembly will come apart. And this little button and the spring you don't need, this we want to save. And the circuit board comes out. We definitely want to save that. And the other thing we have to remove out of here is this, this chip, this transponder chip right there. And these aren't that bad to get out because they're generally not glued in place. However, it's a good idea to kind of loosen it up a little bit with the utility blade. So what I like to do is kind of cut right down there and right there. So you can kind of get your blade in between here and move this piece of plastic out, which I've already done. You want to be really careful when you take this chip out not to put too much pressure on it, because if you damage it, your fob isn't going to work, and you have to make a trip to the dealer, and it's expensive. So I would be really careful for demonstration purposes. I'm just going to kind of wedge this out. This is a test fob, so if I break this, there's really no consequences for me. And I'm trying to move through this video at a reasonable speed. Like I said, it's just in here tight. It's not glued, usually. Oh. And that just went flying across the room. So it's a good reminder, it's a good idea to do this inside, not outside. Let me see if I can find that real quick. So there's the chip. Again, you want to take it out really carefully. Try to avoid stuff like this. This one's probably still going to be fine. It's just a scuff. But again, be careful with this chip. Can't stress that enough. So now we're going to put this thing together. And I'm going to show a couple things too. Like I said, this basic design has been out for a long time, and it's been notoriously, I'll say, challenging to put together. And we've developed a few tips over the years that really make it helpful if you use the right technique. So first of all, I'm going to put this chip in here. I think it fits tighter in the top half. There we go. Just jam that down in there. So get that out of the way first. We'll while we're thinking of it. Then we're going to load up the buttons. Again, we're going to use the correct buttons for the fob that we have. And then I'm going to choose the red panic button because I think it looks good. You can do you. Put that in there like this. Then we've got the gasket piece. Align that. Push that in, and that'll kind of generally stay in place. So this is what it should look like, you know, if you have this fob. This is the orange juice color, by the way. We've just kind of reintroduced that. It's a new color for Jeep as of this time of recording in 2025, newish anyway. Okay, so now here's the thing. Here's a couple things with putting it together. Basically, what you do from here is you put the circuit board in, and you put the battery in, plus side down, and you put this whole thing together. And this is where people have issues with it not going together. So I'm gonna show a couple things. First thing is the battery itself. And you can see how this battery there's a little lip right there. Some of these, this part is bigger. So this outer diameter part is shorter, and then this part looks like it protrudes further. I've got a picture of this on the website on the product listing. So there's basically two different shapes to this battery. You wanna make sure it's this shape. Way easier to go together. The other one, it's possible, but this is way easier. This is a Panasonic brand. There's other brands. These are very cheap at the grocery store or whatever, easy to find. Highly recommend the battery that looks like this. Again, compare it. There's a photo image on the product listing on the website. So make sure you have the right battery for one. The other thing I'm going to show that I found actually makes the most difference out of all these is this little spring clip here is what controls the position of the battery. And it's if you look at these two boards here, this is what your fob is going to look like when you take it apart. This one is what it looks like if you press this out and you flex it just a little bit. And you have to look really, really closely to really tell that there's much of a difference. And you can see, I mean, like this point here comes down a little sharper than right here. And this point here, it comes down sharper than here. So if you look at how close this metal is to that hole versus here, you can kind of see that this is deformed out a little bit. And this is kind of what you're shooting for. So I'm not gonna mess with this one because I want to keep this as an example, but basically you just take your thumb and you press right there, you know, very carefully. It doesn't take much effort to get it to kind of look like this. So once you have it like this, you're able to put this thing together. The battery is going to contact perfectly, and it's going to be very easy to put together. You can take it apart, put it back together all day long, very easy. So all you do is kind of hold this thing at a little bit of an angle so that the battery stays down there, but it's not even that critical. And you kind of just line it up. And don't force it. There it goes, just like that. So you see, that really wasn't that hard. I'll try to do it again. But you kind of want to just get this thing just like that. And you see what's happening is the spring is kind of going back there, and it's a little bit of a tight fit. So you kind of have to shift things around. You know, if you go in kind of at an angle like this, you just kind of have to trying to show this as many times as possible. So if you're stuck, you can kind of watch and see what I'm doing. It's just kind of like you wiggle it around until it finds its little spot, and then it goes together. And you can see the buttons are all functioning properly. So again, that's a little bit of updated technique versus the last video. And I have images of that battery spring on the website listing as well. So you can look at that as a reference as to kind of what you're trying to do. And if you do that little tweak to the battery spring, makes this thing go together way easier. Then once you're done, you just screw it together like all of our fobs here. As always, don't ever use Loctite on these screws. Loctite eats the plastic, avoids a warranty. So there's that. It's pretty much together. The only thing we haven't done yet is the emergency, the valet key, and I'm not going to demo this today. I have this on the other video, which will be linked to this video, the original video, where basically you just take a punch and you press this pin out. So you kind of want to set this key on something, you get a punch and a hammer, and that actually goes up pretty easy. You need like a 1/16 of a punch. You can use a small nail or anything you've got laying around, and then this key will separate from the knuckle, and then you can store this key back here if you want. And that's all there is to it. Like I said, this is the updated version, the IF029 with these overmolded buttons. Really big improvement with the looks to this thing. And my gosh, I'm dropping every single thing today. Don't do that when you put this together, but that's pretty much it. As always, we'll have a link to purchase below the video. Thanks for watching.